Even in the virtual world where you can create your own characters to look exactly like yourself, maybe you can over-exaggerate some bodily features, Accelerator still acts like this guardian figure watching over Last Order, helping her gain the items she desires. Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zelia, and thank you for joining me as we take a look at volume 5 of the A Certain Scientific Accelerator manga series, entitled Accelerator vs Hishigata's Coffins. An explosive volume where we have some positive character building and the plot moves along at a steady rate. However, that being said, my only negative about this chapter is the fact that it feels very much like a transitional one. I'll explain more as I go through. So a basic rundown of the volume goes as follows. It picks up where we left off from volume number 4, where Hishigata's robot appears in order to get the Misaka clone because he needs that for his experiment. And after a bit of a kind of stalemate fight between Accelerator and said robot, the robot leaves with the Misaka clone in its possession, and we get this kind of action-packed scene where Accelerator is chasing after Hishigata's robots, and we end off that chase by arriving at Hishigata's base. And throughout that kind of segment, we do get some Estelle / Harumi backstory, which I thought was well deserved and much needed. So let's start off with the backstory. This is one thing that I really did find a positive in this volume, because it seemed like we've been given glimpses of Harumi's character throughout this story so far, but this actually elaborates on that, because her character seems to be that of a non-human entity. She seems to be attached to these weird mechanical tentacles that like things, and the reason for that is essentially because she is dead. Or more so, she was brought back to life, but we'll get into that in a second. Harumi died and Estelle would use her talismans to bring back her one and only friend to life, but not all was what it seemed when she returned. Unfortunately, Harumi came back with some bad souls inside her body. Pause. Hence the corrupt appearance and personality display that we've seen from Harumi's character thus far. The reason as to why I liked this so much was simple. The fact is, it gave us information about the antagonist that we've been wondering for about 5 volumes now. And it builds up Estelle's character in this moment because it makes her look strong and determined, as she creates this weapon specifically to end her friend. And yes, this is playing at her emotions because deep down, she still sees Harumi as a friend, but she doesn't want to hurt her. At the same time, I like the fact though that it's good seeing her try and correct her mistakes. That of course, bringing back this evil entity that is quite corrupt. So for that, Estelle, you get a thumbs up. You actually did something that I thought was pretty useful. Another positive about this volume was the 2 antagonists. Both seemed really deep in kind of just their craziness and insanity, especially where their goals lie. Their goal is to create a perfect Esper, and basically we hear different experiments in what they conduct in order to try and achieve said goal. And they talk about dismantling bodies in order to find out where the Esper ability lies within a person. This was disturbing. This was something that I actually really did enjoy, even though it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. As seeing the use of dead bodies, even piloting the robots, wasn't bad enough, these 2 characters are just insane. The fact that Harumi has never spoken a single word in this entire volume, or since we've seen her, again, she just communicates through pointing and her facial expressions. This gave off an even creepier vibe when reading this volume, because you don't actually know the mentality of this character of Harumi. We can know that Hishigata is off the rails and completely cuckoo crazy because of what he's saying and how he's acting. All we have to go on Harumi's perspective is her facial expressions. And I love these 2 characters because they make Accelerator look like a saint when comparing these 2 to him. And speaking of Accelerator, we do see the appearance of black wings? Question mark? I'm a little bit confused as to that, because I'm not 100% sure where this kind of story fits into the main index timeline. At a guess, I would say that it comes after season 2, because Accelerator and Last Order have that chemistry / friendship. So to me, that kind of says that season 2 has already been and gone in this story. Maybe it's before Railgun T, No, I don't know if that could be right. Anyway, if you know, maybe you can let me know down in the comment section below. That'd be very useful. Now, one thing I really did also like is the art style. With that being said, this was a very heavy, action-packed volume. And I did find that in some places, the action represented in the art style was a little bit difficult to follow / make out. Especially when it came to the robots kind of changing position, shooting off missiles and stuff. I thought that was a little bit kind of clunky. But that wasn't a massive issue for me. It's just something that kind of made me stop and have to kind of look deep into it. And that's not a bad thing, so to speak. But at the same time, you know, hopefully we get rid of these robots in the next arc, because I'm not a huge fan of them. Now, this could obviously just be a personal thing to me, that only applies to myself, and I'm okay with that. That being said, though, apart from that kind of robot representation and sort of action with the robots, the art style in this volume was incredible. From facial expressions to that double page spread that we get right here, everything else was on point and magnificent. So I can't fault it for that. Overall though, the art style does get a big thumbs up from me. I just wish, like, you know, some of the robot stuff was a little bit less kind of compact on the page. Maybe spread out a little bit more. Like the big double spreads and the big pages of the robots that we got given were fine. But it's when it was in like the smaller panels and you see smoke flying everywhere, it all had a bit too much going on in the panels. That kind of not confused me as such, but just kind of made me go, huh? Okay, what's happening? Okay, let's just try and process this. Overall though, this was a pretty good volume. It was okay. It helped move the characters about to different places. As it looks like this arc is nearing its climax, with Hishigata looking to upgrade Harumi using the data extracted from the Misaka clone. We get a reference to Toma in this chapter, and that was pretty cool. And the mini story at the end with the Last Order and Estelle and everybody else was just really adorable and fun to watch. What is Estelle going to do next? Is she going to be able to stab her friend with that knife? Who knows? Maybe not. This is Accelerator's story, so he's probably going to have to do some shenanigans to kind of pull out a victory. But I'm interested to see how they play it, how it goes about, and what's to come next. Be sure to let me know what you think of this volume down in the comment section below. And if you're interested, let me know if you would be on board with seeing me do some live streams in the future. I plan to do them on Thursday evenings around about 8 p.m. UK time. But again, I'm just trying to get some feedback on that and see what you as an audience would like to see / what days would work for like a majority of you. Other than that though, I hope you'll have an amazing day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe for more index and anime related content on a weekly basis. And yeah, have a great day. Alligator, madane. Goodbye.